You will see to be ready. Let me check if you can see my screen. Alright. So let's continue with this. Alright, so now what you are seeing on the screen now, I was talking about after the phase one, done with internal class program, meaning that all of our program now, it will always be inside this class program. That's one method. Now, in this next one, we have private static void. This one I said private static void is another modifier, access modifier. This private, we are still going to talk about access modifier in the but for now, just know that whenever you see something like this, it's part of the access modifier. Now we have something like static void when made. Okay, don't disturb yourself for now. Just know that anything you write inside here, this is what I highlighted. Whatever you write inside here is going to be the one to get printed. So for now, before we continue on this side, let me show you my part on the slide. This is what you are seeing now. Let's go through some overview. Now, I say what is a computer in general? A computer is a machine that stores, right? That processes and that retrieves data. That one is what are you following? You're not seeing this. Have you joined it? Let me see your screen. Let me see your screen. We are not on the okay, on the web page. You should speak up, please, something. But you can see my screen. Can't join. Yeah, just another. Okay. Alright. I'm listening there. But you can see this kind of. Alright, so let's move faster. Now, I said, let's start with the basic first. What is a computer? A computer is a that stores, processes, and retrieves data. Our system is like a computer now. So meaning that it stores, it processes, and retrieves data. Now you can think as like something that listens to what you are saying. You know, when you go to your word, you type and you can solve, you can save it at the same time, right? Now maybe next time when you save it, you can still retrieve whatever you have stored. So that's a machine in general for you. Now let's go to the next slide. We have something like program and programming. Program and programming. Look at program and programming in a simple way of like action word and word and word. What can you call it? Like a team. We have programming as an action word. We have program like just like words, a name. Now meaning that word in English language, program is a word. It's like a faith. Something that is in action. But when you see something like program, it's just like a name, thing. So you can call it a name, right? So anything that like looks like just a thing, you can call it a name. But when something is in action, we call it a program. Programming is saying that it means that something that is on active, like is currently working. That is what programming. But when you say program is what it has been installed. Because we have undergone the process of the programming. That is the other side. Now let's look at the program is a sort of instruction that tells the computer what to do. Meaning that you have already set the table that this is what this computer is going to do. And program is what is now writing those instructions. When you are writing those instructions, that is what programming. Meaning that when I go to my Visual Studio now and I begin to write something and programming, right? Now, at the end of the day, when I finish that, that is what program. So meaning when I just run it, computer begins to listen to it. That is the program. The program is what at the point of my what typing. When I'm still coding, that is what programming. So that's just a little difference. If you look at what I have, it's under the time we have like a prep and what the more, and the main is what the process of writing code and all of that. So I want you guys to assimilate something like this, a program and programming. Now let's look at this. The first and foremost, one thing you should know about thing is that you will always want to be using comments. Comments will always be something you are going to be using more often. Meaning, whenever you are coding or you are writing your code, you want to make it more explanatory. Imagine that I'm typing something, I'm coding now, but I want other people to relate to what I'm actually doing. So meaning that I can put it as a summary at the top, like in the comment section at the top that, oh, I want this to point out this. You know, when I put something there now, before you even access my code, you have grasped the concept of what I'm already programmed. You have already have that knowledge that, oh, this is what is doing. So when we go through it, by going through it, you already have the knowledge that, okay, this is what is going to do. Oh, I can see that yes, you are doing the same thing. And that is what the extent of what comment. And how can we comment? We have single line comments, multi-line comments, XML document comments, and all of that. Now, this XML documents, that will always be a formatter by itself. So we are going to be using it, but right now we are going to be using more of single line and multi-line for now. Now, let me see the definition of what a comment by itself. Comment makes a code easier to understand, and another one is what they are involved by the compiler. We are going to explain what is meant by compiler after this. Now, meaning that what whenever your compiler is working, it will be understood that, oh, this is a comment. I don't need to go through it. Meaning it will include it permanently. That is what compiler will do for you. Now let's go to the next one and see. Let's say compiler, interpreter, and runtime. These are the three things that make your code functional. These three things make your code very functional. Without these three things, your computer will not run. It will not interpret it. The first one is the compiler. What will compiler do for you? Compiler will translate your code into something the computer can run. Meaning, whenever you write something, when you write something now in our environment, when you go there, you see what I have there. The first code that inside here is what console.write9. Am I the one that type it? I'm not the one that type it. It comes together as like a boilerplate. So inside that boilerplate, we have console.write9. Then we have hello world. Now, if I say this hello world now, one thing that you should know is that there is nothing like error, nothing is showing red, everything comes clean. So meaning if I try to run this, it's going to print when we have the hello world. Before it prints that, the first thing is what compiler will first go through the code. It will first translate it. What are we working on C#? It will translate it to what? To our language. That is what C# format. Then after translation, the interpreter will now interpret the meaning of what you have just written. Are you getting now? Then the runtime, meaning that what when the interpreter is going through your code, runtime is happening at the same time. Let me show you the definition one more time. We have a compiler. It is not that translates your code into something the computer can run later. After the compiler, interpreter will now read and execute that code. Before interpreter can execute your code, we have something called syntax. Syntax error always occur. If you want to run your code and your code is not run, meaning that what you have break the rules of programming. If the code is not run, when you try to run it, meaning you have breached the rule of programming, because there are always rules inside programming language. Now, if you breach that rule, it will give a syntax error, and that's the first thing compiler will just find out. Was that did you follow the rules of what programming or not? So the first one is what does this relate to the rules of what governing programming language? It's not just C# in this sense. Every programming language That is first thing. So that's what compiler will first find out. Then after the success of the compiler, interpreter will now what? Will execute the code line by line and give you what? The output. The runtime is what? When your program is actually running. I'm going to ask you guys this thing later on so that you will know what it means. So runtime is what? When your program is actually running. That is runtime. Alright, let's go to the next slide. Let me lay down. Now, I spoke about syntax the other time. I said syntax is always what? The error that comes when you breach the rules of what? Programming. When you go against the rules of the programming, you always have syntax error. Let me show you what we mean by what? Syntax error. Before we go to this, let's show you how to break a syntax error. Now, you know that what I have here is console.write now hello what. If I go to the bottom of it, I just say I say hello what. This is what happened. I have a lot of errors already. You see something like that error, that red line. Over on that. If I over on that thing, let me go to the first one. If you over on that thing, it doesn't give you something to talk. You see that the type or name statement any will not be found. Are you using a directive or assembly reference? So it's telling you that what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to do one importation that is not working for you? Because you always import different packages. Whenever you download a packages, you import them to use. Now the first thing is that are you trying to use an assembly that is not available, or you are trying to bridge the rules? That's the first thing about syntax error. So now I wrote the same thing as here, that here, meaning that is expecting something which is not there. Monique, are you following? I hope you understand the meaning of syntax error. Alright, so if I now do something like this, like say const, or let me use string name, equals to, and I put it this way, double colon. I put inside double colon, I say hello world. So if I write hello world like this, you see the other one did not give me any error. This one doesn't give me any error, doesn't flag me for any error. If you look at it very closely, but this one is giving me error already, meaning that I have breached the rule here, so it doesn't allow me. I get rid of that. Now this particular one now, it doesn't give me any error, it comes clean, right? So that is how to know if there is error in your code. You always have that underline to be red, meaning that you do not follow the rules of programming. That is one. I talk about the other one, explanation of keywords. What are keywords? What are keywords? I'm going to give you two explanations about keywords. Keywords are something that has been, let me say, understood. Keywords are something that has been understood by by compiler or by interpreter. Keywords are something that is standard, that has been existing, like a default usage in programming language. Let's take a or a dentist. When you go to hospital, you know that these are keywords used there. And when you go to hospital, you say that you want to go and see a farmer. Is that possible? So I'm looking for a farmer. I'm looking for a farmer something. Or a farmer like farmer John. The first thing is that Are you actually okay? Like they will first ask you that. It's like coming to the hospital is actually the right place because they will have to diagnose on you first because why are you saying from somebody inside the hospital? So it's not going to work. Meaning that what when you enter the hospital there is a used name already. When you talk about I'm looking for doctor somebody, that one already respects that you are looking for somebody. The same thing as in your programming. These are keywords. Keywords mean that what something that has meanings to what compilers of. If you look at what we are saying, console of right now, that console is a word is one of the keywords that is understood by programming. That right now is something that is understood by what programming. The same thing as string is something that is understood by programming. Imagine that I come here and just wrote something like let me say unicorn. For instance, I wrote something like unicorn. You see, it doesn't understand that. This didn't get that one now. This environment doesn't understand what is unicorn. But if I come here, I type console. After we type console, you see that there is difference between unicorn and console. You see that there is difference between unicorn and console. Meaning that what this one is giving me a different as what special reserved words that have specific meaning in what in C sharp. So example of them is what if. So I believe all of you do you pass you did some in JavaScript like if else statement and some other things. So in JavaScript, these are keywords as well. So anything like if, you have something like for, you have class, int, return, console, these are keywords. So anything like keywords has been understood by what? By the program. That's one thing. Let's go to the next one. Now, let's talk about variables and data types. Let's talk about and data types. This is where we are going to be working very well. Variables in a nutshell. I'm going to give you variables in this like many explanation. If you can get it now, that will be much better. Variables are container. Variables are container for what? That store data in a location. Variables are what? Are containers for what? For data. It's not using different words. I can explain in different ways. So variables are what? Container for storing data. Just take a look at the variables this way. The variable is like what? In your room, you have a cupboard. In that cupboard, what do you think will be inside a cupboard? You can ask, what do you think will be inside a cupboard? Clothes. Let me just say that like things and like times things like that. You can't put a gallon of oil inside the cupboard while you have your clothes inside. You can't put maybe soap inside what? Your cupboard, right? Meaning that what? A variable store data of what? Of like times. They store the same thing inside what? Inside this in what? In a variables. You have when I say variable declaration, I'll say string. The first thing is what? That string is a data type. We are still going to explain data type, right? But the first thing is what? It's data type. Do you want to have your variable location? String is my data type. The next thing is what? You want to name your location. What you want to store in that location. You want to give it a name. When I say clothes, when I say clothes, I give it a name clothes. Meaning that what? Whenever I want to go to that location, I must understand that what is the name of my location? That's what clothes. In your room now, your cupboard is the name of that location. So if you want to tell somebody now, please let me go to my room. Inside my room, go to my cupboard. Inside my cupboard, bring a white t-shirt for me. You know, there's a particular white t-shirt that you have already hung inside there. If you not tell somebody to go inside your room, are you getting now? You tell somebody go to inside my room and bring you a white t-shirt. Without telling that person that it is inside your words cupboard, the person will not be able to understand that you are talking about cupboard. So they will be feeling like today I just enter your room, I will see it there. No, you are not giving that kind of words a declare explanation enough. So if the person did not originally see it, it's you that is misleading the person already. But here now, when I say string, I put a name to my location like clothes. I'm storing clothes here. What do I want to store here? Inside this place, I give it a string name. When I say t-shirt, t-shirt. You know, when I say t-shirt now, anybody that wants to go now, that want to come into this location, now let me get rid of this one first. Control X. What I just did here is a what? Variable declaration. Only what I have is variable declaration. Exactly. What I have now is a variable declaration. Now, variable initialization. Are you seeing the way I'm doing? Variable initialization. So this is variable initialization. How do you use this variable initialization? Before you initialize something, you first declare it. What did I use to declare my variable name? It's clothes, right? Then I will not put the name of that clothes as a I don't put a data type number. I already declared it somewhere. So when I say clothes, it equals to, then I put this there. I say C. Do you see that one? So put t-shirt here. So that is it. Variable words. Initialization. Anytime I read this now, it's going to get this pointer. Alright. Now let's move forward and let's go to data type so that we can use them at the same time. Alright, now go to data type. What is a data type? A data type is the one that tells the compiler what kind of data a variable can hold. Malik, I hope you are listening. A data type is what tells the compiler. What does the compiler do? Compiler is the one that translates your code to what a computer can understand, right? Now, before your computer can understand or can be, let me say your code can be translated, the first thing is what? It's going to go through them one by one and check what kind of data type are you using. Are you using the correct language? Because we have rules. Now, let me go through this, to this place now. You know, I say string name, and that's the hello word. Imagine that I remove this double quotation. I put number there. Let me say I put 10. You see that there is red on it. This is telling me that what string data type expects a string values. Exactly. A string as a data type, this string that you see here as a data type is expecting a string values in that storage location. You store a clothes inside cupboard, you now went to go and put petrol inside that cloth, no, is wrong. So meaning that what, anybody that is coming there now, they will first look at you, is this person living here alright? Yes, best friend. They will like, is this person alright? So after that one now, then programming language is almost the same thing. It's very is not allowed. That is what the rules of what programming. This particular one we did what we call a syntax error during compilation. I believe you are getting something. So that's the one. Now let's go to that data type that we mentioned. So data type, you know that what is what I tell the compiler what kind of data you want to store in a variable. Now in C# we have different type of data types. Number one, we have number data type. We have number data type. Number two, we have text data type. Number three, we have Boolean data types. These are the three Boolean data type. Number one is number, number two is text, and number three is what? Boolean data type. Now let's speak one after the other. The first one is what? Number data type. What does number data type do? We have different kind of data types under number. Are you getting it? We have different kind of what? Data types under numbers alone. The first and the most used type is what? Int. 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 They call it integer. Integer. And what is the definition? Int stores integers. That is, it stores a whole numbers. Int is the one that stores a whole numbers and not a decimal number. Are you getting now? These are the important things that you first need to grab. Int, in full name, is integer. It stores a whole number and not a decimal numbers. And it can hold numbers like 1, 2, 3, or 1, or 5, 20. It can also hold a negative numbers. So far it is whole number and not a decimal number. That is what int will do for you. And another one that you can use is double. Double is one that holds either a whole number or a decimal number. This one is very important. A double is one that holds what? It stores either a whole number or a decimal number. We call it floating point number. Floating point number is what we know as the decimal values. Exactly. You can or a decimal number. There is no problem. But integer cannot hold a decimal number, only whole number. Whether it is positive or number or a negative whole number. So that's from number. Other data types from number that I did not mention that you will see later on. We have something like long. We have something like just like a double of integer. If integers, let me put a short example. If integer can hold a number of maximum of maybe 1 million capacity, long will be able to hold double of what? Of integer. Are you getting it? So it will be able to hold double, but I will still mention that one let me say later. But just know that I'm giving you guys two. I don't want to compile everything for you guys now. I'm giving you guys two. That's it. Int and what? Double. Int will hold what? A whole number alone and not decimal number, and double will hold what? Either a whole number or a double or a decimal number. So let's try that one out. Let's see how it works. Let me close this. Let me close this. Now we are working with number, right? Numbers. The first data type of number is what? Dimension is what? Integer. And I see that integer can hold a whole number, right? Now, whenever you are declaring a data types, You are storing something. You are already working with variables. And I say that variable is what? They store data, right? It's a container that stores data. So the two of them now works together. Data types and variable works together. Whenever you are declaring a data type, you are already what? You are storing. You are already working with variables. The first thing is what is the data type I am storing in this location? So we are storing int data type. That's the integer data types, and these are number data types. The next thing is what? Give it a name. What's the name of that location? I'm going to say number equals to, what did I want to store? I can store a whole number into a what? Integer, right? I can say 12. Now it's still giving me error, right? You see that this error that is giving me is telling me that what? At the end of my program, whenever you are programming, when you write one block of code in a single line block of code, or a multi-line or triple line, depending on how long your code is, at the very end of it, it must always end with what? Semicolon. Do you see that? So anytime you are working, you are writing a code like this, you are actually writing a block of code. At the end of it, make sure it's ended in what? Semicolon. Without that semicolon, whatever you have written, that code you have written will always give you what? Red. So when I use a semicolon, it works fine now. So that is what? Number. Now let's say integer. If I say double, I put double equals to let me say 1, 2, 3. Then at the end I say please. Now I have a question. If you have been following me, I have a question. You see the one with integer, I don't get any red. But the one with double, I am having red. What do you think is missing? There's no maybe. Alright, so what's another alternative for who is supporting the already mentioned one? What do you suggest? Look at it carefully. The first one is not showing red. Why the second one is showing red? What do you think I'm using in the second one? The number is too high. No, that's 3. So now, what about the others? What do you suggest? Who is suggesting? Which one are you doing? You still do not get it right. Okay, you still do not get it. Alright. I simply write it this way so that you guys will understand the explanation of variable. Address one. The integer, right? But you are seeing something. Are you guys coming? But you are seeing at the integer that number is having a kind of green line under it, right? Green line, right? Okay, that is because it is unused. That is not a problem. If I open on it, see what it says there. You see that this variable number is assigned, but its value is never used. That is what he's saying. It's correct. But now, opening on this next one now, this double, let me go over on this one. It said that represents double position floating point number. At the point of it, opening on this equal to, is what? Identifier expected. Meaning, we are storing something in a location, but we don't have a name for that location. Are you getting it? The first one with number, that's integer. We have int. The first thing is what? Data type. Note the difference between data type and variable name. The data type is what? Is integer. Why the variable name is what? Number. Before we not given an assignment of what? 12. The next one will give you the data type of what? Double. Now, what is missing now? The variable name. So the variable name is not found. So after the data type, you cannot assign anything except you have a variable name. Alright, so now if I say I want to give this one a variable name, I can give it my norm. Let me just say my norm like this. You see that there is no error any longer. So meaning that what your variable now, your variable is what? Your storage container. What data can be in your what? In your variable is what? Your data types. Because if I go to the bottom now, if I come here, then I say my norm 2 equals to 10. Then I put this. Now, do you spot the difference between this double my norm is equal to 1, 2, 3, and the only one that I showed my norm 2 equals to 12? Do you spot the difference now? It's telling me, it's giving me an error. Is it that the name my norm 2 does not exist in the current context? Meaning that what? There is no keywords for my norm 2, nothing of such. If you now wanted to make this one a variable container now, you have to specify the data type before the name. I hope I'm giving you guys more explanation. So if I now wanted to specify what kind of data I want to put here now, we have number data type being explained already. I can just say int, the error disappears because I've already specified that in this environment, in this container, I want to store number there. Now, what are the data types of numbers? That is the first thing. We have int, we have double that we are using currently. That is the thing that we are using. Other ones we still explore them later. But for now, I want you guys to master the two very well. That we have int and we have double for now. Exactly. So int my norm 2 is equal to what? 12. And that's what? A number data type. And what I'm storing there is what? Is 12. Now, another assignment now. Let me show you a shortcut of how I do commenting. You see on this line, have you guys seen the cursor? Look at the cursor where this cursor is. If you do control, if you click on control, down forward slash, the forward slash button, the keyboard on the keyboard, that forward slash, you will press on control down, then at the same time click on what? The that forward slash at the same time, to comment or do uncomment depending on the state. So if I want to comment on it, I put my cursor on it, then I press on control, then forward slash. That one is what? Let me say easy way to do what? Connect. Alright, let me go on. Now, another thing that I want you guys to notice now is that I told you guys that integer holds what? A whole number. Why double holds what? Either a whole number or a decimal number. Now let's access that. Whether what I'm saying is true. I say 12.56. If I say 12.56, is there any error for integer? There is an error, right? Now in this error now, let's see whether we can see what the error says. Alright. You see that is it that represent a double precision floating point? Fine. What I've just written is a what? A double floating position, right? Now look at the next case of error. Okay? Is it I cannot implicitly convert type double to what? To int. Now this method is expecting what we call a type conversion method. It's expecting what we call a type conversion method. It's telling us that what cannot easily convert type double. Do you see that message on the screen? What I'm saying is that I cannot implicitly convert type double into int. Meaning that integer can only hold a what? A whole number, whether it is a negative whole number or a positive whole number. But meanwhile, a double can what? Can hold either a whole number or a decimal numbers. That is the difference. Now you can see is that this one is having a whole number in this location and is giving us a rate. And from the explanation there is that we cannot implicitly convert type double to what? To integer. Now if I now go to the double and I say 123.56, is there any error for that? So there's no error. So that's why you need to understand what an integer can do and what it cannot do. What a double can do that others cannot do. You should be able to what? Differentiate them. Are you getting now? So that's number data type for you. Now let's go to the next one. So I'm just going to get rid of this one to the ordinary number now. So let's go to text data type. Text data type. In text data type they are what? They are character set. When you type your name is a what? Is a text. Are you getting them? Your name is a text and not a number now. Now when you are working with a text, we have two types of data types that we are using. The first data type for text is what? Char. Char. C-H-A-R. We call it char. Like this. In small letters. So they call it char. This is the first data type for what? For text. Char is what? Is one that stores a single character set in its own what? Location. Char will store a single character set in its location. Do you understand what I mean by a single character set? Let's say that your name starts with what? Malik now. You now wanted to use a variable name to store that name. There is no way you write Malik in a data type of char, because you have breached the rule already. Now let's try it. Let's say char my name. Let's say Malik. Am I correct, Malik? Is that how to write it? Do you see that Malik is showing red already? Now, you know that this is a string on it. This is a string. And I told you that a char will only store a single character set in a location. If you now wanted to store that, you can only store just single character like A or B or C or D. That's what are the numbers? Or in a real world scenarios, what data types do you think a char can hold like that? Alphabet, like let's say you are in a classroom now, you're a teacher now. You now wanted to store your students' result, like A, B, C. No, you have something like maybe A for is it D for what? Distinction. What do you call it? D for okay, fair, right? All those kind of pass grade, you can use a chart to store them conveniently and comfortably. But when you are going into you want to store them, you want to give it an actual name like distinction, you want to write that distinction, you are not going to be using chart any longer. But if you want to store something like D for distinction, A for what? Maybe something else, you are going to be using chart to store things like that. Now let's go down there. So I'm going to change this one to ordinary M. You see that it's showing me M, red. The reason why it's showing the red is that the double quotation around it is telling me that what? This is a string. But the data type that this is telling me here is char. You are giving me the data type of char. Meaning that if you are going to be using char, a char will have a single string, a single quotation rather, around it, not double quotation. So you have to spot the difference first. Whenever you are storing a data type in the char, it will only have a what? Single character set with a what? A single quotation mark. Single character set with a what? Single quotation mark. That is what a char we wrote. Now let's do that. Then I put from. Now a char can only put a single character set with a what? Now let's go to the next one, another data type that we have. Another data type that we have is what? String. Another data type we have is what? String. That is under text. Now let's now give it another one. Let's say my name equals to double quotation, then I can say Malik now. This one doesn't give any error. Are you following? Are you guys following? So I believe that if I give you guys something like an assignment or a classwork, you will be able to give me excellent results like this little explanation. Yeah. So we have something like string. String will store either a single character or what? Multi-character set. It's just the same explanation as print and dog now. Are you getting the thing? So inside this string now, a string we have the ability to store either a single characters or multi-character set in a word, double quotation. This one is going to be using double quotation now, not just single quotation. So now let's do something again. Do you know that I'm having error now? If you look at it, I'm having an error. Can you spot what the error means? Can you spot what the error means? Of the two of them or agenda. Alright, without wasting our time, we are correct. Because the first variable container is using my name, the second one too is using my name. You cannot have in a single file sheet like this have the same variable name. You cannot do the same. If this one is using my name, another storage location must be using something different, not my name any longer. So you can't use the same thing to store at the same time. So you have to specify the name differently. Exactly. So now that one is clear. Another one that I want to show you is what? A Boolean data type. Boolean data type. This Boolean data types is the one that holds a data for true or false condition. True or false. If something is going to be a true, did the student say, when you ask the question, did the student say, what do you expect to be the correct reply? Yes, now, or no. So you don't need to be telling me that or giving me an explanation when I'm giving you a direct yes or no. So that's a Boolean for you. Something that can actually spot let me say a single line word comment. Nothing like giving me a more different explanation. No, I don't need that. Are you a here? You can say that yes. You can say that true. Is that not clear? So that's a single statement. So these are the things the Booleans will work for. So we cannot say the slave equals to, I can say true, semicolon. So is it male? You see what Boolean is saying now? Is true or is false? Boolean cannot store something like maybe a number. Is an error on that angle. Boolean cannot store that. Boolean cannot store something like a string. It cannot store it. It's an error. So that's why these data types are very much important. Is that understood? Now let's go and look at what we have here. So let's get to see what we have here. I see number data types. We have int, we have double, we have text, these are so now let's go to the next to the question. Is it male and male? Now let me see. Let me come on. Like this one, right? No, hey, that's a good example. Now, when you say that it's male, that makes me remember something that I want to even explain. Now, this particular is male. It's just something like a two joined together, a concatenated join, two tests, right? Are you following? A concatenated of what? Joins two tests together. This is one test, while male is another test. Now, that will make me to come to when we have, like, we have casing types. How you can type, how we use case scenarios. Like, we have Pascal casing, we have Hammer casing, and there is no other casing like that. So, but the most used one is what? Either Hammer casing or Pascal casing. Do you know what is a Hammer casing? A Hammer casing is when the first text is starting with a small letter, the following text begins with a capital letter, and the other text, like after that first one is capital letter, small letter. If you have another one, the first one capital letter, other one small letter. But when we are talking about Pascal casing, every text that starts either the first one, second one, or the third one will always be what? Having a start of what? A capital letter, small letter, a capital letter, small letter, like that. Like what we have here now. Let's say that we want to use this scale in a camel case now. Instead of saying it's me that started like that, I can say is with what? All small letter, then this next one is what? Capital letter. Now, what is now say now by say, can I put a space here now? There is error. The reason why there is error is that what? The explanation is that when you are storing a data, the first thing is what? What is the data type? Right? That is the first thing. You have the data type. The next thing that's going to follow it is the name of that what? Storage location. To specify what you want to store, the data type. The next thing is what? Storage location. Now, I am using is name, but this is standing alone. If you look at this now, this is giving us a blue color, a colorated of blue, right? And that name is what? Is unknown. In the sense that if you can grab what I call a keywords in this case now, this has a special meaning to what? To compiler in this environment now. Do you know that? There is another meaning to what? To is. I don't know whether you are getting it now. Meaning that what? This is means something else inside what? In this environment. Now it is something that we cannot do like this. Whenever you have a data type, So that once you understand, James, are you still recording? Okay, don't worry. So, are you seeing my screen? Okay. Yeah, I think so. Alright, you should see my next so it's coming right. It's okay, right? Fine. So, like I was saying, if you guys have joined, are you guys there? Somebody there now. I see my screen now. Alright, so meaning that what you can't have something like this. So you have breached the rule of what syntax error. So that's it. Now let's go to the next thing and move faster. Now we have something called the far keyword. FAR. They call it far keyword. Now this far keyword allows C# to automatically detect declarable data types based on the assigned values. Are you following? So what we mean by far keywords mean that what we are not specifying that in my storage location I'm going to be storing a string data type or a number data type. We give C# to automatically identify what kind of data I am storing there by itself. Are you following? Now let's see how we can do that. Alright, so let me say far data type, far data type. It's not even data type, so far keywords. Let's say keywords. Now this far keywords, it allows you to write any data types. Here, I can say far. If I want to put the name, what's your name? Daniel, right? So let's say that I want to put Daniel now. What's the name? 1 equals Daniel. This one is no error because it allows me to like C# already notice that what any data type you are storing there is acceptable because you are using a keyword of far. You can look at far as a global data type. Are you getting it? You can look far as a global data type. because it will not allow you to just specify if you just want data in that location. You can store anything inside there aside from just what you want. Now let me now get rid of this string. No, I store string, right? Let me now say that I want to use number data type. I see 10. You see that there is no error at the same time. I can store it. So this is what we call a far data type, I mean keywords. Far keywords will allow you to store any data in that location, which allows the what C# to do the automatic detection by itself without you specify what kind of data type you are putting there. So using far as the what the data specification, meaning that what you are setting a global data type already. That is what it means. Now let me see how I define it here. I call it, this is called an implicit typing. So they call it far keywords and implicit typing. You can also use it as a global usage. It's a global data type usage. This is how we will see the example. So the containers, you know that if you write something like far message, it's called what inside a string, it's a hello word. That is what a string for what to be compiled. So that's one thing you know. Now let's go to the next one. The next one is what arithmetic operators in C#. Are you following? Malik, arithmetic operators in C#. What do you mean by arithmetic operator in C#? Arithmetic operator in C# used to perform basic math operation. Arithmetic operator are used to perform basic mathematics operator, like the way we have it in our mathematics. When we say that, okay, you want to add two numbers together, you want to add 5 plus 5 together. That's the additional usage, right? We will now want to have it in programming language. You use the same language, but there is a way you can use them too. So I say 5 plus 5, I expect what 10. Now, if you anything that you want to do, then I want you guys to see something. Anything that you want to do, you will always you have the storage location first. That's it. You have the storage location, then you add them together, then you can print what is in that location. That is how to do that. Now let's go and see how to do that. Arithmetic operator. We are working with arithmetic operator. So what we arithmetic operator will do, so arithmetic operator will allow you to perform some basic math operation. Now let's first start with addition. So addition means that let's say that I want to store, I want to add two numbers. I want to add two numbers together. So first I want to add it. I will say, what are the numbers data types? That's how I will be asking you that question. What are the numbers data types? No, numbers data type. Int and double that we are using for now, right? Int and double, these are what data types. Now, I now wanted to store a whole number data types. What is the best data types can I use between the two of them? What is the number? Let's say I want to store something like a whole number of 5 plus 5. Int, we are using int. Right. So let's say int log 1 equals to 5. Is there any error? There is error. What do you think is error? There is space in here, right? Now that's the same question that you asked that time. The same thing happens here. There is not going to be any space afterwards the variable name. So I'm not going to get rid of that. You see that one now. So int, then number 1, I say 5. That's first number. Now let me now say int 1, 2 equal to 156. Do you see that? Int num1 and int num2. These are the two data that I'm storing in this location. Now, how do you now add them together? There is a way, like you have different way of adding things together. Instead of specifying two storing location, do you know that I can actually add them in a single line and to still work? Like the first num1 now, I can put my additional keywords as plus equals to 6 and it will still work. You know that? Malik, you understand what I mean? It will still work. But if I try to say 6.0, will it work? It cannot work again because I am going beyond just single a whole number to what? To double number. And it can allow me to store just a whole number. So there is nothing like 0.6 any longer. So it's going to be 6. That is how it can be used. So I can hide them in a singular, or I can create different container for that number on its own. Now, for the first time, let me create a different container first. Now, let me now go here now. How do you hide them together? I've not talked about this one in the long run. Now, when I first open this boilerplate plate, you saw something like console.write hello. I have not print anything. I have not shown you how to print anything. I'm just doing it explanation. Let's now print something now. With all the things that I have written here, it will get unnoticed when I print to the world. When I try to run this program. Now, how do you run this program? The first thing is that look at my console here. You see my console. I mean that cursor. This cursor is telling me that what is giving me the name of my project, right? Now, in this, the first play button and this second play button, that is two-way. That is two-way. You can run your project. The first one here, I see it, is the one with debugging. Meaning that when you want to run with debugging, you are trying to run the project and at the same time you are debugging your project. Only the process of compilation, when your program is about to run with debugging, is going to be running and checking that if there is an error, it will give you a flash that you have an error. But if you choose the other one, this other play button, that one will work without debugging. You are just running, believing that your code is perfectly fine. But if you do not run with debugging and you run with what? Ordinary with not debugging, but meanwhile your code is having one error or the other, it will not give you that error. You will not see the error, but it will not show you output. Are you getting me? It will not give you any output. So if you are sure that your code that you have written is okay and perfect, then you can run without debugging. But if you are not sure that your code is perfect, run with debugging. But right now, I'm very sure that what I have here, there is no error. So I'm going to run without debugging, which is what this other play button. So now let's see. I have started. So when you run, you will see like a shell display at the bottom here. It will run. This is what I have here under this console debug area. Is the hello. The first one is hello. Where is that hello coming from? Now this is more thing that you need to first stop. Whenever you want to print something to your debugging environment, you want to see it, you want to display something, right? You want to give an output of what you have been doing every now and then. If you write any code, how can you give an output to the user? The first thing is what? Console.write line. That console.write line that we found at the beginning, you see this line is what that we saw hello on the screen, right? Now all this thing now, it doesn't really matter. It's not in the console area. We can't see the output. Even though we have explained most of this thing, you can't see the output. Now let's say that I want to add this five together and I want to make use of that console.write line. I said that to display your code, what you have written, you use what? Console.write line, right? To display what you are doing. Now I'm going to let me just comment this first console the right now out. Now, if I save that, anything you do, you click here, this is my cursor, you save the file, anything, save the file, then you run it. Nothing to be displayed. The reason why is that what? You are not sending anything to it, to your console. You are not displaying anything. To display something, you have to specify that console.write now. Then inside open and close brackets, then you put something to display. Exactly. Now let me down do that. But right now, I don't have anything like console written down here. So everything is getting in there. So at the bottom here now, I want to add these 5 and 6 together to give us the addition inside the what? Our console display. So I will say console, the first name is what? Capital letter. Console, so it writes now. This is right now. So open and close parentheses. Alright, so inside this place now, I can put a string type of a word inside here now. If I want to use a string method, I can put something like this, and I will say hello, I can say hello developer. If I say hello developer, now it's still showing me error. If I may ask one more time, the reason why it showed me this error at the end is what? Because of what? Can you try? Can you try? The reason why I'm having this error at the end. So anytime I'm writing a new block of code like this, I'm typing like this, I need to ensure that at the end there is going to be semicolon. So that semicolon is going to be flagging error. Now, hello developers. If I try to run this file now, it's going to print out hello developers. Let's try that. You see that hello developers. Now, in the same sense now, I can print my additional. I can print what I have written so far now. Now, how can you access what you have in your variable now? That's the next thing I want you guys to understand. How can you access what you have in your variable now? What we have in this variable now, inside this console.write now, in the open parentheses, that open and close bracket, I put a quotation mark there, right? I say hello developer. Inside that quotation mark, I'm rounding it with double quotation, meaning that what I'm printing a word, a string. I am actually printing a string in that note to the word, to my console. Without putting that open and close parentheses, it is still not balanced. Now, let's find out. Like, remove the base. This is the error now. It's just like a body with skeleton without flesh. So it doesn't have anything that covers it. So you are telling console that what are you trying to do? If I run this thing now, let's see what happens. Do you see that it doesn't build? This is what is displaying. Is that they were build errors. We would like to continue and run the last successful build, meaning that it's going to give me the last display and forget the current one. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say no. But if I want with debugging now, so let's see what we want to do. It's still saying the same thing. So let me say no at the same time. Now, inside this app, we have some errors. How many errors? We have 3 errors. The first error is that the name hello does not exist in the current context. Do you see the next error that say? Is it that syntax error? Do you follow that? Is it that syntax error expected? What does syntax error means? If I may have some more time now. Syntax error, if you try to understand. So the program rules now has been breached. So you do not follow the rules inside this play now. So if you now want to use the right words now, it's either you put it in an enclosed double quotation mark, or you first need to go and store this hello developer in a variable container, then call the name of your variable inside here now. Now let's try to do something. So I can just copy this, Ctrl X. We are copy this one now, and I come here now. What is the data type I want to do now? It's a string, right? I can say string letter equals to, then I put here, then I put semicolon. Inside this console right now, if I say letter now, the name of this variable container now, if I put it here now, is going to access this variable container and print whatever I store inside it to the console. Now let's see that. So you save that and continue to print. You see that there were blue errors. Let's see where error is. It's expecting question mark. Do you see that? That's why I say that whenever you have something like that and you know that there is error in your code, you see, it gave me the error. Can you spot where the error is coming from without checking the code? Can you spot it? So I'm missing semicolon there. So it's even that now. It's really to run my code. Do you see that now? You say hello developer. So that one is successful. So let's close that one now. Alright. Now what we intend to do in the first place is add these two together. And the first method is I first create a frame container of integer that holds 5, another int 2 that holds 6. Now without printing, we say that this variable container is assigned but its value is never read. Now let's now read the value now. How can we read the value now? What's the name of that container? Is what? Num1. What do you want to do? You want to add them together, right? That's plus num2. You see that there is no error. Maybe a quotation marks around it is just like that. So you just write it. Now the same thing as I have this one now. Let me try to duplicate this and give you another thing. If I put something like this here, 5 plus 6, it will still work for me. Do you know the reason why it still work for me? Because in its own use of data types, number doesn't surrounded with what? Either any quotation mark or anything. But in the use of what? Strings or text, it always follow either you use a string, a double string, or what? A single string. That's a single quotation mark or a double quotation mark. I hope you are following it. So that's the reason why the first one that we have every developer inside here is going to be giving error, and the same thing as this one. So this one doesn't give me error because it has many of what kind of data type is that. Now look, what's going on there? So now let me print what I have here. So now let's print this one out and expect an answer. You see it printed 11. You see that 11 being displayed. Malik. Alright. So we have this 11 being displayed. Now, so this is the first thing that we are doing now. So now to move to the next phase now, I'll have a class for you guys. I want you guys to give me to write a variable name that will contain your name. You print it to the console like I've printed, and you also have another variable name that will hold two numbers together. When you have the two numbers together in your console, you have a total.
Um, no, I think is it in your side? Maybe it's connection. Hold on. Okay, it's connection. Then. I've read it. Wait, hold on. Log on to your face. Log on the link to your face. There's still like 3 minutes left. There's 3 minutes left. Enjoy the game again. that we have the line, the line, brings up, kind of, that way. So we have the line. So that's how we now, this one is for communication. Now, and we can also hold a block, that type of block. Imagine like space like 8.1, 8.2, then another 8.2, then the multiplication of that. So we are going to use the block in that sense. That's the block. So what we are working under data type of arithmetic is they are normal. Always like those normal. They are not normal. Anything that they want to store as string, they use to work. Why did I choose for this string now? How do you explain? Now let's go to how do you do what did I do? I said two combinations, two different combinations, and store information. That's all you see on the now, there is where I want to do it. Now write the formula like this. This one is always good. If one was the highest priority, then forward slash that's what it is. Forward slash equals like right any number of 1 by any number of 1. So let me convince this one goes back to the first one. Let's bring this one. What do you expect this one to be? Right? 5. Do you get that? We have 5. Now let's say that I want 5. Let's say I want minus 1, 5, 8, 1, 5. Like this. There's error right here. There's error. Now, instead of me finding instead of saying I want to find this number, I know that it's not just the whole number. But now I can use this was the source. 4.9 data type of text. Let's say I have data type of text. This is solid. Solid. Because I have solid equals and I think this is now let's Come, available. Exactly. Check it now. Check now. Check.
Okay, let's say question. Alright. Are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing my screen? So now let's quickly do this one. Like this. So let's quickly do this one. Now I want to make use of weight. James, accept. So when you want to do this one now, I want to put number as a string, right? I want to what we simply want is that we want it to look like this. It will look like this. But if you have something like this, there will not be any error, right? I think there won't be any error. But how can you possibly convert this already declared variable container with software inside of it and to make it look exactly like this? That is the code that we are trying to see here. Now, how can you do that? So you can say the name of that variable is age, then dot string. Do you see that one now? So we have do a little conversion on this one. Yeah, okay. So we have done a little conversion. So this is what we call a typecasting or a conversion method. The first one that we just do is what? The number type, go back a smaller number type and what? And automatically be what? Be converted into a what? Double data type. But a double data type cannot go into a what? Number data type directly. So we have to cast it like this way. We have to cast it. The other one is what? A number data type. We want to cast it into a string data type. So we use a number data type and store it as string, and we now cast it as a string. Instead of saying just age here, we use to string dot to what? To string. So that is the two way for that. We're still going to explore more of this when we are dealing with user input and output. So for now, let's stick to what we have. So let's go on and see what is next. The next one is what? Working with strings. Working with strings. Now, how do we work with strings? We have different ways of working with strings. The first one that I have here is what? String concatenation. String concatenation. Now, an art of concatenation is what? Joining of two strings together. How can you join two strings together and it will still work like what we have here? Let me come. This is concatenation, concatenation. So don't forget the definition of concatenation, right? So concatenation is an act of joining one or two or more strings together. So coming down here, how can you join this string together now? Let me say first name and last name. How can we spell paste this string? First name and first name of name equals to. I'm just going to use somebody's name here. Which name can I use? Let me use that here. Now let's say string last name, last name. Don't forget, whenever you are writing keywords, make it small letter. This is what I have here. I wrote it in capital letter, string and the first string. These are the two different in color. So I'm writing them in small letter. So don't use capital letter to write your keywords like that. So use small letter, L2. So first name, then last name, as it N name equals to which one can I use? You have any something? You have something? You're not using anything. You have something? Okay, so something like this. Now let's say that this is your first name and this is your last name, and you wanted to print them, you want to concatenate them together. Now let me now say full name. Now I want to store a new container. Now I want to store a new container. This can full name equals to. Now how do you concatenate this one together? Now the first name is dollar sign. What is dollar sign? Yeah, dollar sign. So when you have the dollar sign like this, we'll do this. So inside here now, once in my full name is, so I put colon, then outside here now, I'll say plus. What am I plusing? What am I adding? This one I would say F now something is missing. Now who can tell me what is missing? Do something like this. Does that work? Doesn't work. So what I would do here, come to this place. So let me do this here. Alright, so this is simple one. Now let's do it this way. Now we have the first name here, and we have the last name here. I hope you are seeing it. So this is a simple to concatenate the two of them together. I don't want to bring them together, but I just put them like this. Now, let's say that we want to point this to the console. I say console, console, dot, right now. No, not in my phone. Well, say, so now let's bring this. Is there any console? No. So now I want to print this full name down. So saving that, then do this. Are you getting it? So this one concatenation. You see that my full name is what? Are you seeing this plus that I'm seeing here? So I don't need to do that. I don't need to add. Let's see the code. You see that my full name is. You see the space in there too. To have a space here is on. You see what we say Daniel Obara. We say this one as a Daniel Obara. Now it needs a space here after it. So let me put a space here. These are the space already there. We've added the space. So this is a way to do concatenation. So we have different ways of doing concatenation. Now we have another one. Instead of concatenation, we have something like string interpolation. String interpolation. Interpolation is another method of concatenating by substituting variables. Oh God. What we just finished is string interpolation, right? So what we have is actually interpolation. We already missing it. So okay, for this one now, so let me just say string my full name equals to. So I will do this. The first thing I will say Daniel, another one, let me close it. Then I will say, let me not put inside here. I'll say Obama. Then I don't here put full stop. Now what I just do here is what? It's concatenation direct. Let me come back. So I will just say console dot right now my so now what we have here is simply the concatenation, and what we have here is interpolation. So let's bring the two of them. So this one is Daniel Obama, and my full name is Daniel Obama. So two nothing. Now the difference between the two of them is this one use the dollar sign in his own template. Are you following? So this one use a dollar sign in his own template, and this one just use string directly in his own template. meaning that what is string interpolation. We don't use addition concatenate. We are going to while in what string interpolation we use dollar sign to interpolate another string into what into a string like this. I hope you are getting it. Is that alright? So now let's go to check the next one. So we have I shouldn't be the next. Okay. So we have bracket notation and escape character. We have something like escape. Now, for instance, how can we find something like this? Inside this name, Daniel. Inside this Daniel now, I want to print this Daniel inside this console here. I want to print this, not that one again. I want to print that Daniel inside this console. From one, so I will say f me, then in a bracket, a square bracket. Now I will use 0. I will explain the reason why I'm using 0 now. What I want to print is this d. Let me do that. So what I want to print is actually that d. I want to print this d inside this Daniel. Only that d is what I want to print outward to my console. I don't want any other thing from this location. I want to print to the d to the what to the console. Now let's see how that one works. So I print the d, right? Now how am I able to access ordinary d and not the a or n or I or c or n? Now, are you following? So the reason why I'm able to print this d is that in C#, whenever you have something like you have index naming convention. The index naming convention starts from what? From 0. So when you start counting from 0, meaning the one from Daniel start with 0, the one from A with 1, then N 2 1. I mean that N is what 3 until what to the end. What I'm simply saying is that let me put it under it like this. So this D means 0 and this one means what? This A means what? 1, N means what? 2, I means what? 3, E means what? 4, N means what? 5. Now if you now wanted to print this, let me put this one in this one. Let me put in so if you now wanted to print it now, what do you think I will put here inside this square bracket? 4, right? If I put 4, I will be able to print in. You see that I print the email. Are you seeing it? Is that us? Is there any question? Is there any question first? Do you have any question? No question, right? For now. Alright. So we have this P printed out. We can access this any characters by their what? By their index. This is the index number for what? If you want to access n now, you know that it's going to be 5. So that's how to access any characters with their index. Now let's go to another one. Let me see what I have next. Alright. Now we have another characters. Let's say that you want to have something like a new line or a tab like that. Now let's say that I want to print this to the console now. I want to print C# language. Now this is, I want to print C sharp language, right? Now this C sharp language, if I print this now, it's going to give me this C sharp language. This is C sharp language. Now let's say that I want to break this now to go to the neon line. I'll just say a backslash n. So when I put a backslash n now, it's going to go to a neon line. You see that C sharp language. So it goes to a new line entirely. But you know that I wrote them in the same line, in the same thing, right? I wrote them together, right? That's right. But due to this backslash n before that language, I'm able to move any words after this C sharp to the next line. Now, if we want to do tab, let's tab. That's what empty. That's what to the next tab. Let me see. Let me raise this one. Okay. You see that there is a tab in between, there like more spacing than normal space, right? So that's what tab we use for you. Let me see what other thing that we have here. Double quotes. So let's see that double quotes. So when I have something like this, now it gave me one quote at the end. Do you see what this double quote is doing? It gave me one quote at the end. Can I possibly put another quote here? Do you think it's possible? By doing that, I can do this one, right? Let me see. Do you think it's possible? It's not possible. If I do this, I don't think it's possible. It's not possible. So it's not possible. So that's how to do things like that. So we can only follow this sequence with the rule of what? The language like what? From here, and not from the end like this. Only if I want to do another one here. So it's not backslash. Okay. So if I have this now, I can possibly add another word, double quotation. So let's see. Let's see that one now. So I can possibly add double quotation now. So I cannot put this double quotation after my backslash. It must be before. You get now. So I'm like this. So this is how it will work. So this is one thing that you should know about string. Now let's see some of the things that we have. We have string methods. So string method enables us to use and convert our strings that we have written into a different format. Like we can convert all our string to uppercase, lowercase. We can check the length. We can check if a number contains a particular number, and we can also replace a number by another number. We can also insert a new number, and we can do a substring. Now let's try to test that one in action. I'm just going to say, let me write a new thing here. I will say string my head equals to is turning unicorn. Let me say unicorn talk. You see that I mix them together with small letter, capital letter, and all of that. So I mix them together. So I did mix them together. Now inside here now. So let me print. The first one is what? I want to ensure that what I have stored here, when I want to print it to my console, I want to ensure all of them are what? Capitalized. They are in uppercase. So how do I do that? The name of my storage location is what? My home. My home goes to upper. Is there anything to upper? You see, by the time you first write the C# code, you see that it's giving you some of the things that you can see, that you can use. You see that from this drop down, I have to lower, I have to string, to upper, and so much like that. Are you following? So all these things that you see that is going down in a drop down like this, they are default usage. They are keywords that is what that has been identified already by compilers. So to upper is what I'm looking for. So I'll just do to upper. Now, whenever you are working with stuff like this, like a default usage like this, when you select this keyword, you need something called open and close parentheses at the end of it. Open and close with brackets. That tells C# that oh, this is a word, a keyword. Are you getting now? This is a keyword function. It's a keyword that has function. Are you getting now? So now let's put it that way. You see, let's get rid of that word, error. So when you are using something like a keyword like this, that is a function, because this to upper is a function language, it's in C#. Alright, so let's print this one now. We expect that this take O should be what? Should be turned towards uppercase letters. Malik, are you funny? Alright. So let's print this and let's see. You see that everything is what? Is in uppercase. Even though I mix them together. You see that I mix them together here. Like Unicorn Take O. This Unicorn was actually written in what? Small letters. Like this in lowercase, then this take is uppercase, then this up is a mixture of upper and lower. But when I use dots to upper is what is like this. The reason why this to uppercase and to lowercase is most important is that in a scenario, maybe you want to search for a content on the website. You know that sometimes you notice that when you search something on the website, you can write something in uppercase and it will still give you something, it will give you what you are searching for without complaining, right? If you type it in small letter, it will still give you something back as a feedback, right? Now, the reason why it's working like that the developer already specified that no matter whatever you are putting inside that input box, it should always convert it first, whether to uppercase or to lowercase, then give it what the output. So it doesn't matter whatever you have input, whether you say you are typing something in uppercase and try to search. In their own environment, they are converting what you have already. You need the uppercase or a lowercase to filter out what you need. That's why it's very useful. Another scenario whereby it is very important is that maybe you are logging into a website, like in your account, you want to log in. So the username and the password you are entering, let's say that your password contains like the characters and number at the same time. Are you getting now? So that characters and number doesn't mean that if your characters inside your password is uppercase or in lowercase, but immediately you are creating it, they are going to be storing it by converting it to a lowercase version or an uppercase version. The same thing as username. So when you are trying to log in again, whatever you input to, they are going to convert it to whether in lowercase or uppercase, so that you are not going to be like an error. Are you getting now? That's how to work with. Let me say you are building with more user experience now. Are you getting now? Because imagine that you created your account, you use uppercase now in your username. You now try to go and log in. You now use a lowercase to now log in, and it's giving you error. You will be confused that am I not using the same username that I created earlier? But you have forgotten that you use an uppercase when you are trying to create an account. But if there is a better experience somebody as a developer, whatever the user is creating doesn't matter. But you are going to be converting it to lowercase in your own environment when you are coding it. So even though you write uppercase, it's still going to be converted to lowercase. Whether you type it in lowercase, it's still going to be store it as lowercase. So when you want to now log in, it doesn't matter how you specify the character set. It's going to convert everything to lowercase and allow it to log in without any error. So that's the reason why we have this upper and to lower. That is very important. Now let's go to another one now. So if I want to say to lower now, I can just get rid of this one and say to lower as enter. So this to lower will convert everything to lowercase in the more sense. You see that one now? Everything is lowercase. So it doesn't matter whatever is coming, it's going to do conversion on them. That's coming. Now let's go to another one. We have to length. Let's say that we want to know the length of what we have here now. If you want to calculate the count, the number of what, the length of what we have stored so far. How do we do that one? We start beginning from 0, 1, like that index value, right? We begin to count. Let's count before we even access the length. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Space is part of it. Letter spacing. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You say 14, right? I'm not sure there is one spacing or two spacing, but it's just one. Alright, so 14, right? Now let's see whether it's going to give us that length. Let's see that dot length. Dot length. Now, this dot length doesn't actually give us that, right? Okay, so now let's print this dot length now. It's actually 15, right? It's actually 15. Where do we start counting from? We started counting from 0, right? Now the character there is 15, but we start with index number of 0. So meaning that dot length doesn't go with whether it is 0 or something. It counts the character set from 1. Let's see the count again so that we'll be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is it 15? Did we start it from 0? We just start from 0. Yeah, let's do it again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we started counting from what? From 1 when you use dot length. Now let me now show you where this is very important. Let's say that you are building okay, you want to do something like this. You want to authenticate a user now. You want to authenticate a user now. If the password is not up to maybe like 6 characters, you don't want to save it. You don't want them to be able to save it until they have entered 6 characters. Are you following? If they do not enter 6 characters, it should not go. That's the security measure we are imposing on them on that summation form. So if the front end is not capturing it, but the backend is capturing the number of character that the user must enter. If the number of character dot length is not equal to something, it should not give you access. Are you following now? So that dot length is very important. But for now, you know that anything that dot length is counting with the character. So we have that one. Another one that we can have is let me check. We can have replace. Now let's say that I want to use finicom now. I actually wrote finicom, not com. So let's say I want to change this finicom tech on to finicom tech finicom solutions limited. Are you getting that? I want to say finicom solutions. Okay, let me first use one, finicom solutions, then I will leave the hub. So what I will do is that replace my hub gets replace. So what are we replacing? We want to replace the current one. What is the current one? Hub, right? We want to replace hub. As a uptake. So let me say talk. So what do we want to use? Oh yes, I will make something there. No. So what do you want to replace that with? You want to replace that with solution first. That's there is no more close parenthesis. Alright. Now, meaning that what? Whenever you see take, please help us to replace it with what? Solution. So when I do this, this is Finicom Solutions Limited. Even though we are storing Finicom Tech Hub, this one is giving us an output of what? Finicom Solutions Limited. So is that alright? Now we have another one that say insert. This one that say insert means that what? We want to insert a word into an existing a stored data, right? We want to insert. Let's say that we have Finicom Tech Hub Limited. Let's say that I want to add limited at the end, right? Instead of doing that, so let me get rid of what I have currently. So I will use insert keyword, insert. I want to insert limited. Now let's look at something. Let's count. It's going to count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. At the end of this 13, because whenever you want to insert you start from what? You give it like what? Start index. Are you getting it? It start like it start index. Let me say what do I want to open 26 and that's not open. Okay, so I want to give something like index of do something like that. Once I want. Then what do I want to add? I want to add limit. It's the counting very well now. This is when it added the limited. This is number 13. H is number 13. So that means number 15, 16. So it should be at number 16. Eventually, right? Number 16. 13, 14, 15. 15. Okay. So now let's start again. So you see that we added it at the end. But there is no space. Now let's give a space here. Let's add a space here. This is that we added Finicom Tech Hub Limited at the very end. So that's an insert condition. That is an insert method. All these are string other string method. All these they are what? Other string method. Now we have another one that says substring. This one extracts part of the string. It includes a start index and a length to it to extract. When you want to say I want to extract something, extract means what? It's going to take out part of what already existing string that we have inside our text. We want to extract from there. So we don't want to show them. Now, how do we do that one? We must have a start index like this one. What we have is we say Finicom Tech Hub. Now let's say that we don't want to see Finicom now. We want to see this Tech Hub, just Tech Hub, right? Now let me now get rid of what we have here, and let's do the word substring. Substring. A length, right? So we are going to have the start index and what and the length. Now let's do something. Let's count this. What's the start index? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. Alright. So let me put 7 here. And what is the length? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The one is just great, and this is on them. What can this also much? Alright, because this is that it actually extract the Finicom out and give us those take up. This is that now. Meaning that what? The first 7 that I have here, meaning that what? Count from what? From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7. From here now, from here downward like this, extract it. Are you getting now? Remove them. I don't need it. Now, counting from that 7 now, the next one is 8. That's what? From 2, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But 15 minus 7 now will give us what? 15 minus 7 now, 8, right? So that is the 8 that is there. Are you getting it? Is it clear? Please, do you have any question on this? Are you sure? Harry, do you have any question? Any question? Nothing yet for now, right? No. So this is what a soft skill can.
That was. I don't hear that one. That's what it is. Yes, yes. Ah, what you cover? Many more. Christian, when I was writing, I put minus 50, but it keep it baffled. So it doesn't care whether it is positive or negative sign. It doesn't care. That is how happy to go in our lives. Now, let's go and check the part of the minimum that we can pronounce. Now, part of the minimum. That's the minimum. I have to know that. What is this for? What is this? Let me ask you this question. What do you think is half the minimum? What is the smallest number, right? So we need to find the smallest number. So if you want to do that, you have to do numbers in the I don't know. I have one or two numbers that I can say that. Now, this paragraph allows two values. Whenever I do this, I need to so that I'm trying to use more than two numbers to use the program after this math. Now, and at the end of the day, I see that, oh, whenever I use this kind of method, it was only pass two values. So we don't know that two values. So I'm just very
What up? Tell me. I've written another one. Absent. Absent. Absent.
So it's going to do it in four places. It's 1, 3 times 3, 3 times 3, right? So, meaning that what? I want to iterate our program. So this is how it's moving. Math gets power 10, the number, then what goes with power. Yes. Alright, so we have that one. We will also have some other ones like square roots too. We have something like square roots. Square roots. So we say square root of 81 now. So you want to find the square root of 81. What do you think it will solve? It should give us 9. So that is clear. So that these are common mathematical operations. So these are just mathematical operations that we can see for C sharp, and these are common things that we need to get ourselves familiarized with. So you guys should do more of this, like more of this work by yourself and see how it is going with. Now that's common working with numbers and math method. Now let's go and see what we have here. Now this particular topic will be the one that are going to be doing last. Okay. So you guys should be able to follow what is going to happen here. We have something like annual input and output. So far we have been doing something like what? 20 to the console, right? 20 to the console. Now let's now try and do something now. When I put something in the console, I want to still communicate on that console that okay, what is your name? If I ask you now, like, what is your name? You need to give me a reply that my name is so so so. Is that correct? Now, if you now give me your name is so so so, I need to collect what you have given me and store it somewhere. Then I give you the welcome with your name. Then I say welcome, then I put your name at the front. You know, that's a kind of what interaction, right? User interaction. So you are trying to ask the user. You know, when you go to ATM now, ATM will tell you that how much do you want to withdraw. You put something there, and ATM takes the input, and at the end of the day, it gives you back the output of what the money you want to get, and we tell you thank you. Do you want to withdraw again? You know, these are kind of what interaction. Now let's look at how we can logically apply this on the input and output here. Now the first thing is the input. This one is reading data from the user using console.read now, and output is displaying the data using what console.write now. We have been using console.write now to display data, right? Now we now want to read data from the user. Now to read data, we are going to be using what we call console.read now. Whenever you see something like console.read now, it is used for what? Reading data from the user. Now displaying data back to the user is what? Console.write now. I hope you are getting the true explanation. Now let's see how it works. Now the first one is what? I'm going to say, let me say I want to send a message now. I say console. No, that's not the way. Console dot write now. Why is this one just coming up? Console dot write now. Now I will say what is your name? What is your name? I put a question mark. So when I say what is your name, this is what you are supposed to see. When I print, I take this and I print. What is your name? Now you need a space to type like, oh, my name is so right? Now how can you do that? I will say something. This is what to now make from you. I will say so that read now. Console.read9. So once I put this console.read9 under it, meaning that what I have given you access to reply me. When I print this one to the console, I am giving you an access that give me your name. Are you getting it? So once I say console.read9, I'm giving an access that, oh, what is your name? Now let's see. You see that cursor is blinking, and there is nothing under it for now. That read9 is telling you that what I need a response from you. That's the meaning of that cursor. You know, when you are on the ATM normally give a blinking input. Oh yeah, type in what you want to do. So that is the same logic here. What is your name? So you now be like, oh, my name is what? Okay, Daniel. I've been using Daniel, so let me use Daniel today. So Daniel. So when you have Daniel and I press enter, that's the end of the program, right? Now that is the end of the program. What I just did here, when I was trying to write this program, now when I start trying to write on that note, I try to program I do that. So gradually the process, there is one called compilation. So it's trying to do a translation, and the interpreter interprets what I've already programmed to the user, and what runtime is what running program. So this thing uh, there's no to as long as the program right. So I would say also something about right now. I want to say how old are you? Possible ask you, what do you want to do next? That kind of message. So before we do that, the first thing that you need to do is that what the user is sending to you, you should be storing it somewhere. That is where failure is when you store something, right? It's a storage location, right? So now when a user now enters some, you want to save it so that you can access it later. Because right now, if the user enter something, there is no memory for it. Everything is just going to waste. Once I ended the program, that is void. So I can't reuse what the user have already typed. Imagine that somebody asks you, you will have a program now. The person has said that you want to enter your account now. They say that what is your name? You give your name as Daniel. When you now log in now, they now tell you that welcome user one. Are you user one?
Okay.
It's counting already. Should like I don't even know how the videos anything is starting. So that's the journey going together. Eric, won't stop. Alright, so I was explaining that when a user now enters something, you are not capturing it, you are not saving it. No, we need to save it so that the user can be able to see a response. Because it will be very annoying when you ask me what is my name, and at the end of the day, you are not telling me welcome user one. Another in your own account too, you ask the person his name, you are not referring to me by my name. You might say that welcome user two. This one is welcome user two. When you know that you are going to be saying welcome user one, why are you asking me my name? So it doesn't make sense. So for you to now make it more appealing to user, like more interactive, you need to welcome them by what? By their unique names. So how do you do this? In this first one, when I say what is your name, the next thing is what? Before I say console.readline, I want you to listen. Before I say console.readline, I'm going to create a variable container that will store whatever the user wants to input. How do I do that? I will say, before that console, I will say, now the first thing is that what am I collecting from the user? I'm collecting a string character, right? I'm collecting a string text. I'm collecting a text from the user. So I'm going to be using string. If I'm collecting a number, I'm going to be using number, right? So if I'm collecting a double, that is going to be a double. But right now, what is your name is a text. So I'm going to be storing it as a text. So I will say string user name equals to console.readline. Are you see that? So string user name is going to what? Console.readline. Now the next thing is console.readline of the second one goes, how old are you? So I'm going to do the same thing. Now what am I collecting from here with this my question? What is it? Integer. Well, we know that integer is number, right? So data type of integer is going to be used, right? Now nobody can be using a decimal as his name, right? So meaning that we cannot use double. There is nothing like double now. Somebody cannot be 12.5 years old. So it's not possible. So you cannot be 10 point something years old. It's either you are 10 years old, 20 years old, 15 years old. So meaning that we are going to be using integer. And why we are going to be using integer is because somebody cannot be more than 1 million years old. I've never seen that one. Maybe you are 1 million years old or 2 million years old. So if you want to store that one now, you can use int. So that one is better. But if you know somebody that is maybe 12 years old, that means our program will not work for such person like that. So we have to come back to using them. So for me, I know that user age is going to be the whole number and at least every of less than 500. So we can say int. So I'm not going to say int age equals to this so much. Alright. Now there is more problem. So let's do it one more. Because we want to collect users like that. Read the next line of paragraph and blah blah blah. Alright. So let me bring this on the list. What is your name? So what is the username? Daniel. How would I? That's the end of the program, right? Now, with what I have collected now, what I have collected now, I will say that before I ask my next question, I want to print your name to you back. I want you to see your name now. I will say console dot right now. I will not say inside I say your name your name is now. This is where it comes from. Are we going to use string concatenation or string interpolation? You can use any, right? So if you are going to use string interpolation, or when we first start from concatenation, you want to use string concatenation, you are going to be using additional to join them together. Addition, that's what, plus sign to join them together, right? So what is your name? Your name is, let me put a semicolon, a space at the end here, then plus once your name is now let me now what is your name? I say Daniel. This is what I say. Your name is Daniel. This is that I'm printing that name now. In nonsense now. So if you say something like this, what is your name? Daniel. You might say that your name is Daniel. No, that one is automatically like you are getting what I'm telling you. You are actually collecting it for you. Now ask me a question again. How old are you? You need me to enter something, but you have already ended your program. So how are you asking me that one now? So I need to tell you, I need to give you access to enter your age again. So how do we do that one now too? So I say we use console read line to enter it, but I want to save it. I want to save that what I'm collecting again. This is where typecasting will come into place now. This one is showing me multiple rates. Let's first read what these ones are saying. This one is telling me that what represent the standard input and output and error string for console application at the same time. Do not tell me that the error cannot explicitly convert type string to int. You can put it somewhere now. Whenever you are typing or you are writing something to it, you are sending an output to the console and you want them to enter a number, you are always going to get a return type of string, not a number. Anything you are typing from what you are asking the user to input from the console, there is going to be a string message, but you need it to be a number message, right? So whatever you are going to be getting from the user and you want it to be a number, you are going to do string conversion. So you convert it to a number type. Now how do we convert this to a number type? Instead of just saying int h, it's going to console.readline, like the way we do for what? This string username console.readline. The reason why this one doesn't give us any error because it's already we are storing it as a string. But now we are collecting the number, and we know that anything we are collecting from the user must always come with a string. Before we store it, we must convert it to a number. That's how it's going to be useful. Now, how do we do that now? Before here, I'm going to copy this entire line that I have here. I cut it out. I will say int age. Let me see what is on the local field function is very defined. So we have something like age with that. So let me go and get rid of that age. So that's why I don't like this. To get rid of that. So that age is not giving us error because I have this somewhere at the top. Now, before I do that one now, I'm going to say convert what's kind of spelling is convert to integer integer 32. So what am I converting to integer 32? Okay, I've already got that. So alright, so let me type it down. Put it together. So I'm going to say console dot so do you see what I did now? So now I've already converted whatever is coming now to a what? To a number type. Now don't forget this one that I see that to 32. We have another one that converts from integer 62 integer 64. I think that's what I saw. Okay, I'll see come back to that. So just know that when you are converting converting a string into an integer data type, you are converting it. You are going to be using a convert using statement like this. So to int 32 then also dot break line. The one is now let's move to see. So at the end of the day, I will want to say constant right now. Your age or you are let me put a comma here. Don't concatenate them. You are 12 years, that's age. Don't do another concatenation. Wait, I need to put a space here. So now I've sent a message this way now. So at the end of the day now, let me see. Let's play that. So my name is Daniel. So to display that for me, your name is Daniel. How old are you? I can see 25. So you are 25. Oh my God, I did not put years right. 25 to so 25 years. So let me just put me closer. 25 years. Years. Good. Let me quickly confirm. I hope you guys are not tired. You are tired, right? So how would I use 25? Alright, so you are 25 years old. Now at the end of this one now, you cannot display that maybe in the dashboard, you cannot say that welcome. You not put their name there. You can simply do that one now. Are you getting now? Let's say that welcome to your dashboard or welcome. So how do you do that now? So anywhere now you can access it. Maybe at the end of this page now, you can now say that console dot right now console dot right now. I want to say welcome to English Library. Welcome to your dashboard, then I want to put your name there. You can select create username. So simply that I have done something here. Now welcome to your dashboard. I put your name there and you remove it. So now let's go over it one more time now. So I say, what is your name? I say Daniel. Daniel. Then your name is Daniel. How old are you now? No, I'm asking them a question and tell me that. And I say I'm 15 years old. I'm 25. 15 years. You are 15 years old. Welcome to understand what I use now. So this is just how to communicate with users and send them a message across at the same time. So we have more and more things to do. So let's stop here for today because I think that's what we have on this level. The next week we are going to be starting with logical, control flows and conditionals. We're going to be starting with logical, control flows and conditionals. So before then, I want you guys to at least prepare yourself with what you have here. And if I have time, and I must have time, I must do something for you guys. I'm going to give you guys an assignment based on what you have done today. And that assignment will cover what you have done for today. And you guys are going to submit it. Now, how you guys are going to submit it is going to be like this. Now, we have something like this. I'm thinking of using a Google form. So when I send it across, you guys are going to play with your answer. Are you getting that? So on our Slack platform, you guys are going to be sending a screenshot there. Are you getting that? I've not actually set it out, but the way I'm seeing it is going to be that way. So you guys are going to send a screenshot at the end of the day when you submit. So when you submit it and you give me a screenshot and post it to our Snap channel. So on that Snap channel, how do you get a screenshot? Do you know how to use Snap? You know how to use Snap. You don't know how to do screenshot of your computer. Just type on this your type search here. Just type anything like Snap. Snap. You will see something like Snappy tools. Open the Snappy tools. You will see something like new. You will see this one that says new. So when you say new, it's given like a plus cursor. So whenever you place the cursor and you drag it from there, you click on wherever it is from that cursor. So once you click on it and drag it across this screen, it's going to capture exactly what you have caught. Nice and a message. So you are going to capture exactly what you have caught. And once I do that, you see that inside this label, only what I have captured is going to be displayed. I can do something is either I save it. Open it. So on the message goes like this, just do Ctrl C and paste it there. You see the image is already there without even saving it on my own desktop. So I have this image here. You see, I can display the image. This is what I captured. Exactly. So once you have something like this, you have your display and you after submission, capture the submission message, then you send it across like that to the Snap channel. That's how you are going to submit that particular assignment. How to communicate. Exactly. So that's how we are going to do that for now. So I'm just going to end that. So I believe this will be the end of our today's class. So any question, like any additional and anything, bring up. Do you have anything? I know the class has already gone far. Um, James, stop the recording. What do you say?